I believe the church is in better condition than it has been at any time in its entire history. My beloved brethren and sisters,
welcome to
Once Upon
a Mormon.
Another testament of religious abuse.
So many have been hurt.
Persecutions may rage, mobs may combine.
Whom shall we go?
Sown in corruption.
We need you.
Never again.
Welcome, and
welcome, Monday morning.
Somebody save me. Well, welcome back to another episode of Once Upon a Mormon. I am Sister May, and I am joined only today by the beautiful Brother Hiram.
Stop it, you. Did you have to think about your name for a second?
Yeah.
I'm Sister Donna. Wait a second.
I am using her mic, so maybe like some of the energies have like passed through.
We got a message from her before. I'm a bit tired tonight, so I'm not going to join in.
Bitch, so am I.
Oh, that's okay, Sister Donna. We'll forgive you.
This time.
How good was last episode?
So good. I haven't quite finished it. I know, but I think it worked really well just having the three of you guys. Like, I'm sad I missed out. And I have to say, all the talking that you guys did at the start for me was very accurate. Yes, thank you. Can't remember what it was, but I remember listening to it and being like, yes, I missed out. And
the picnic, yeah.
Yeah, I was so sad I missed out. Like, oh, stupid fucking cars. Swear to God, they're going to do my head in.
Next time you come.
Definitely. So today, I think we just wanted to have a little chitty chat about the good things from the church.
I think
things we liked.
A lot of the things we talk about tend to be fairly negative.
Yeah.
You know, we're looking at things in a light of critique. But this is something that came up at the picnic, is things that we actually didn't mind about the church, because let's be honest, there were a lot of good things about the church and there were a lot of good people in the church.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't all bad.
Yeah. As much as people like to point fingers and shit. So a lot of people family members of mine that have listened have been like, oh, you just like paint it all in a bad light. So this is dedicated to all those people. This is the good things about the church, or the things that we enjoyed about it.
This is the one episode my father can listen to.
Yeah. Same.
Oh, sorry, Styles. I just booted him in the face.
Oh, my little cuddle buddy.
Poor Styles.
No.
Such a hard life.
I know. He just wants all the cuddles.
Well, we're actually back in the studio again. Brother Mosiah couldn't join us this week. Unfortunately, he started night shift today. So, yeah, that happened.
I have to say, like, going back to last episode, what he has said was very well spoken. Like, I really loved the way he articulated a lot of his thoughts and opinions on it.
It's something I've always admired about him, because he's a thinker. You know, he thinks about things and he analyzes it and he looks at it in a different light. He doesn't just put the same filter over it, and that's something I really admire. And he was really nervous coming on. It was actually pretty funny.
Little cinnamon bun.
He's just like, I don't like the sound of my own voice. I'm like, you just got to get used to it. Once you get used to it, it's okay. Like, now we listen to our voices
all the goddamn time.
Barely recognize it. Like, I forget I'm talking sometimes and tell myself, I would have said that.
I do that too. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's a good point. I'm like, oh, wait, that's me.
But that's the thing, is you just get used to it.
Yeah.
Which then helps with the speaking, because, you know, we'll have a conversation outside of recording and it's a mad chat. We make really good points. There's no reason we can't record that.
Yeah, exactly.
The whole point is getting it in context so that you as a listener can understand what we're saying and you're not just coming in halfway through a conversation.
Yeah, because I feel like some of us here have ADHD and jump between like 5 million topics.
Some of us or all of us?
Yeah. It's like, oh, wait, and then this thing. And I'm so bad for that.
I do the same thing.
And we're doing that right now.
Anyway, so
back to the actual topic.
What's been going on in your life this week before we get into the meat of it?
It's been a shit show. Just the last 2 weeks. It's been fucking mental. Got all that shit going on with work, ex-co-worker that likes
the one that's stalking you.
Yeah, and reports everything I do to the not store manager.
Such a toxic workplace.
I know. And it's like, oh, Sister May pulled in the cages half an hour before close. I'm like, bitch, I need to count the tills. Like, what do you want me to do? Stay past like when I'm getting paid? Fuck no.
Seriously.
Yeah. And on top of that, we found out that the car that I crashed. It wasn't an actual crash. It was somewhat salvageable. Cracked head gasket. So that'll
ruin your day.
Yeah, another $2,000.
And your budget.
Yeah. So my savings that I talked about at the start of the year, that's not going great at all.
You saved for this moment.
Yeah. Well, after this, so when we finally get it back from the mechanics, it'd total be about $3,500 that we've put into this car.
How much did you pay for it?
$5,000 in October.
This is nearly a $10,000 car.
Brother May is not impressed with me right now.
It's the thought that counts.
Yeah. Well, what about you? What's been going on with you?
Well, we have a goal this year to go on holidays overseas, and Mosiah wants to. It's funny because I don't have to call him the husband of the brother harem anymore. So Mosiah wants to travel overseas this year.
Yeah, and
he's been really stressed out because he's like, I just want it to happen, and I don't know how. I've never done it, and I'm like, don't worry about it. I've got this. So the other night I booked 2 weeks over in New Zealand.
Oh, that'll be nice.
So I booked tickets over to New Zealand, and we'll do that leading up to our 1-year wedding anniversary.
You're going to do it again on top of a Corolla Camry?
I won't do it. Okay, so for context, I went around New Zealand a little while after I got back from my mission, and the aim was to be solo. I ended up meeting my ex, and anyway, that happened.
Was not solo.
For context, he's a really nice guy, but we broke up. Anyway, so I rented out what they call a wicked camper. So they have it around a couple of countries around the world. And it was like a Camry Corolla type thing with a rooftop tent, and it was fully sick. And that's where I developed my love of rooftop tents because they're really convenient. It takes like a whole 2 minutes to set up. But no, this time we're looking at getting an upgraded version and get like a little self-contained van, like a Toyota Hiace or something.
That'll be nice.
It has like a little water tank in it. It's got a little sink. It's got a gas stove and a fridge. We want a fridge because we're going for 2 weeks. Yeah. We're not going to eat out every night. Yeah. So, yeah.
That should be really nice. That sounds awesome.
And then I've got this microphone way too close. And then we're also, we've taken off an extra day for the Labor Day long weekend.
Oh, yeah.
That's about my birthday, 2 days before my birthday.
Yeah.
So we're going to get on Hunter Valley for my birthday.
Oh, nice.
And, do a little bit of another wine tour. Mm-hmm. And then we've also booked off 2 weeks of Christmas.
Yeah.
So because we've both been in the job for nearly a year now, nearly a year. That's crazy.
Weird.
Well, actually, it's about 9 months for both of us. We're getting a little bit of leave up, so we're going to take another 2 weeks at Christmas, go via Mosiah's family up north, and then just pop over to Japan for a week casually.
Just casually go to Japan, like, that's fine. We'll just go to Japan.
Because our friend who is eventually going to come on that we keep talking about, Mosiah and I's friend, she's always wanted to go to Japan. We've always wanted to go to Japan. So we're just like, yeah, let's just go for New Year's because her birthday's New Year's Eve.
Oh, nice.
So go see the fireworks in Tokyo or something.
Brother May did like an exchange student program.
Oh, yeah.
So he went to Japan on an exchange.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so he really loves Japan. That we have like a row in my bookshelf just for like his Japanese cookbooks and stuff.
Does he speak Japanese?
Not anymore. He can't remember shit, but yeah.
The thought that counts.
Yeah, he still really loves it and he's been wanting to go back. I can't stop looking at the
You can turn it off if you want.
Paternity guy. No, they're our crowd now. But yeah, he really loves Japan. And so, yeah.
Well, one of the other cool little trips we're going to do, right? And this is the one that you're invited to.
Yes.
I mean, you can go on any trip you want, but the one that it's mandatory.
Oh, okay.
That's a better way to put it.
Yeah.
My 30th next year, right?
Yeah.
Thinking of going to Greece.
Nice.
I think that'd be pretty sick.
Yeah.
Go to Mykonos.
Yes.
The gay capital of Europe.
Yeah, because I have family over there because most of my family is German.
Yeah.
So when my granddad came to Australia, some of his family went to Greece.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll have to see if can.
I think that'd be a pretty sick trip for us.
Yeah. Have
Just
some
get a bunch of us.
free tour people.
So,
cousins to walk us around.
Lit. They can do guided tours of Athens.
Oh, yeah. That'd be fun.
Speaking of Athens, have you been watching Kunk on Earth?
No.
So on TikTok, that British chick that does like history, but it's like the dumbest shit ever. It's so fucking funny. So there's a multi-part series on Netflix now.
Nice.
It's called Kunk on Earth. It's the funniest thing ever. And it's a lot of it is historically relevant. Mm-hmm. Like she goes through it, but she just tells it in a really bad way on purpose.
Yeah. It's like that guy from the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely have to watch that. But that's a bit of a catch up.
Yeah. Church.
After you.
Okay. Do you want me to start with the things I liked about church?
You're running the show.
Okay. Well, I guess what was your kind of like your favorite thing about church? Like the thing that kept you going back?
I think it was a form of community, it's a double-edged sword. So you've got this community that you build in the church and you have your friends. Now, I did develop some really good friends who I'm still friends with some of them. Some I'm not. They kind of shunned me when I came out, but there are some like, we had, I don't know if you met him, but he came to the picnic.
I wouldn't have met him.
I won't say his name, but he's been a really good friend for years.
Was he at the funeral?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you did meet him, yeah.
Yeah.
Dreads. Yeah, anyway, moving on. But yeah, so like, yeah, he's been a really good friend for years. We've sort of...
Is that the one that listens to the podcast?
Yeah, it is.
Hello, friend, who I will not name.
We kind of fell out of like close touch for quite a few years. With been so much going on and moving interstate and all that type of stuff. But he's a really good example of some of the reasons why I stayed at church and kept going back. Mm-hmm. So it was really, a lot of it was that community side.
Yeah.
Which is also a double-edged sword because some aspects of the community, and I'm not talking about these friends, or just talking about, it's more so some aspects of the community you have to do. So you have to go to elders quorum, you have to go to youth, and you have to participate.
Society.
Yeah. And that's what I mean by double-edged sword is there's the mandatory side of it, and you feel bound to participate.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
What about you? What was your favorite part of going to church?
That's a good question. I'm tossing up between the babies and the singing. Music is a huge part of my life. Like I play a lot of different instruments. Not very well, but well enough. Like I can read the music and stumble my way through some good songs.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've always loved the music. When I was 16, my dad was a bishop, and that was my first kind of pulling away from the church. I didn't go for a couple of weeks, and then my dad was like, "You need to come to church today," and I was like, "Oh, fucking fine."
You're making me look bad.
Yeah. Well, he called me into his bishop office as bishop, and he was like, "I want to call you to be the ward chorister," and I was like, "You're fucking serious? Like,
don't be a no for me."
Yeah. Well, I ended up doing it because I liked music, but I said only if my brother is the pianist because he plays piano really well. So I was like, I'm only doing this if he has to do it with me.
It's the maze.
Yeah. And my brother and I were kind of the only youth at church. there was a lot of younger children, but yeah, so we're kind of
package deal.
Yeah, and we kind of felt like the stars of the show. It was like, oh, they're here. Like, look at them.
Bishop's daughters are here.
Yeah, so it was nice. But yeah, so I've always loved the music and yeah, doing the choristering and the choirs and everything. Like, I still listen to a lot of church music just because it brings out a lot of big emotions for me, which I love. But yeah.
It's funny, like the music stays with you. Like I still find myself singing it sometimes.
Yeah.
Like it's like, you know, I say my favorite thing is, you know, some of the fellowship that I had. Like I did enjoy like some of the things like music. You know, choiring was kind of fun. Until you're in a, you know, majority Polynesian ward and then you're like, I am very inadequate.
Their music is so beautiful. Oh my God.
I just can't even keep up with it.
Oh, it's just gorgeous. I remember on my mission, I had quite a few like islander companions.
Oh yeah.
And so one of my all-time favorite hymns is actually in Tongan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember it for the life of me now, but it's fucking beautiful. Love it.
There you go. I think that some of the other things I did enjoy were some of the skills I learnt. Like in Young Men's, I didn't notice it as much towards the end of youth being in the ward. It was more so sort of towards the start in the younger years of being in the branch, but then also changing over. Like I noticed throughout youth and heading towards mission, it got a lot less active in terms of participation, in terms of, I guess, the quality of the leaders that were coming through. You know, they were called to it and they kind of just went by the textbook and did a few things. They didn't really think outside the square in the later years. Yeah. There was no big adventures and things like that. Whereas in my younger years, I remember we'd go on camps. You know, we'd be, I think, out in the branch. We had this project on youth nights where we didn't have anything to do. We were trying to restore this canoe so we could fiberglass it.
That's cool.
We were learning camping skills. We're learning survival skills. We're learning prepping skills.
That just gave me flashbacks to Young Women's Camp. Oh, my God. I had this friend. I won't name them, but I'm pretty sure they are non-binary now and in a gay relationship. But this friend and I, oh my God, we're always in trouble because, you know, we kind of didn't fucking care about the actual church. Like we just kind of showed up to hang out with each other. Time. Yeah. And I remember we were at Young Women's Camp and we were canoeing and they purposely capsized the boat because I told them not to. Oh God. I could keep going on with stories. One time they spray painted their fringe with actual spray paint on a State of Origin night.
What?
Yeah. And they showed up and I was like, what is wrong with your hair? They were like, I just wanted to be part of, you know, like feel the State of Origin spirit. So I spray painted my fringe. I was like, oh my God, that's not how we do it.
That's the wrong paint.
Yeah. So, oh my God, we had some great times.
Youth camps were pretty lit, especially early on.
Yeah.
Like I remember we used to go out bush, out towards your way even. And, you know, you'd go out for a couple of days and you'd be having these, you know, activities. You'd be going on hikes. You'd be lighting the fires. You'd
getting yelled at in the middle of the night. Go to sleep.
Go to sleep. Turn your lights off. Stop talking. And then some of you'd sneak out in the middle of the night. It was just all part of it. And then things got a little bit more strict, but also people got less involved, like I was saying, with like leadership-wise. And they just didn't really take the initiative to teach good skills, which in turn, you know, a lot of youth ended up leaving because it wasn't engaging, it wasn't fun.
Yeah. I remember hearing because having my dad as the bishop, I got to hear lots of things that I shouldn't have. But I remember hearing one of the older folk from church being like, the youth need to do more like service activities and they need to do more family histories. And my dad, bless his soul, he's amazing. He was like, how is that going to help them like build relationships? Dad has 5 kids. Like, I'm the oldest of 5. He's like, I can tell you right now, my children will not be showing up to those activities. Like, no matter how much I bribe them.
Like, look at family history, for example. Ugh. I find it interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting, but I think I have too much, what's the word? Like trauma or something. Like, I could not do family history now. Like, I just, oh, no.
As a youth, it wasn't that exciting because as a youth, you don't have the tools or the knowledge or the understanding of what it is to be able to do proper genealogy.
And I feel like everybody that's put together the programs for it is like fucking 60 years old. And so the processes are so confusing. It's like, press here. Oh, but then you have to do that. Oh, and then go back and do this. And it's like, what the hell is going on?
And a lot of it as well was tied into the ordinances. Like, it was like, I know now, like I go on ancestry.com because I still have my free church membership. And I use that, and that is quite convenient because it's developed not for church, it's developed for the general use. And so it works, whereas the church one wasn't as easy. But like, temple stuff, that was always an interesting topic. Like, I kind of enjoyed it, but I didn't.
Yeah.
Like, I found that the purity standards were unattainable.
Yeah.
But the actual going and doing it, you wanted to be part of it and you enjoyed it.
I think we had different experiences there. Maybe because I am female. Like, every single time I went to the temple, I would not be able to do baptisms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love it.
Like, every single time.
I'd love it.
I don't know what the fuck it was, but even just like we'd be almost to the temple and then bam, and I'd be like, what the fuck? And I remember one time thinking, man, the devil's really trying to get to me. Like, he's not letting me do my baptisms.
It's male privilege.
Yeah. So, yeah. And then just like hearing people be like, why isn't she doing baptisms? It's like, oh my God, shut up.
You'd think that would be pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah. But no, everybody's got to whisper about it. So I did not enjoy temple trips. I did enjoy the subway afterwards. That was always fun. But the actual temple trips, oh my God. It's a no from me.
Well, you would have travelled a lot further to get to the temple.
Yeah, it's like a, 2.5 hour drive?
So you do what, Saturday sessions?
Yeah, we'd have to wake up at the butt crack of dawn just to get down to do the 10 o'clock Saturday sessions. It was a killer. But sometimes we get to hire a bus. That was fun when we got to go down in a bus with all of our friends. Yeah.
Yeah, our temple trips were just like half an hour up the road.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm jealous.
So, what about your mission? Did you find that enjoyable?
Yes and no. I don't regret going on my mission, but I'm the first to say that it is the hardest 18 months of my life but I also learned a lot and made really amazing connections, and I don't think I would be the person that I am today if I hadn't have gone on my mission. So yeah, missions are hard. It was hard, but I really enjoyed it, and it taught me a lot about my capabilities as a human, that I am able to do hard things.
I can relate to that, yeah.
Yeah. What about you? Had your mission?
It was shit.
I could imagine.
There were some good things. Like, I met some really good people.
Yeah.
And I had some fun some places along the way because you have to.
Yeah.
But mostly it was miserable.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I got to go to the most beautiful place on earth. It's just covered in sand, the whole thing. But I was really lucky. One of the other chicks that's on our group chat on Facebook, she was my companion. Well, I trained her, which kind of explains a lot about why we're now both less active. We didn't do shit. Like,
I wish I had companions that wouldn't do much.
Yeah, I think we actually did tracting. So we were together for 2 transfers. We only went tracting like once or twice. I remember one time.
The dream.
Because we ended up moving apartments halfway through. I remember one time because we had a whole bunch of boxes and the new apartment we were in was right near a big grassy hill.
Yeah.
So we just cut down some boxes and like slid on our asses on these boxes down this hill for like an hour and a half. I also taught her to ride a bike. That was fucking terrifying. I should not have been given that power. If you're hearing this, I'm so sorry about how I taught you to ride a bike. So we went to the top of said hill that we slid down. So one side was grassy and the other side was a road. I put her on the bike and I was like, off you go down the hill. I remember her looking at me and being like, are you sure this is okay? I'm like, oh, you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
She'll be all right. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, head over ass. But she learned to ride a bike.
Well, you got to do it some way.
But yeah, we're still really good friends. And yeah, so I made really great connections on my mission. It's still like one of my favorite places on earth. I would move there in a heartbeat if I could. Just
good work over there.
Yeah.
Plenty of work over there.
Yeah. Brother May, I almost had him convinced to move there. He came up to me one day. He was like, you know what? You almost had me convinced to move there. Like, just to get away from your parents. And I was like, oh, yeah, okay, let's go. He's like, nah, but I like one of your friends too much. I'm like, yeah, what about your own fucking friends? I'm like, this friend is very cool and I would be very sad to leave this friend behind. She's got a partner now, so I can't just pack her up.
I nearly had Messiah convinced to move to Adelaide the other week. Because I'm like, oh, that would be pretty cool. But then he just sat on it. And then he was talking to some of his colleagues and like, it's fucking racist place. I'm like, oh, yeah, that would make sense, actually. We're a lot of white people down there. Old white people.
I feel like he would fucking cut some bitches down there.
It wouldn't last long.
No. I'd feel sorry for them.
Yeah. Yeah. What else did you enjoy? Like, I think that sort of stuck out in terms of like the family stuff.
I did really like a lot of the values that are taught, like around families and then spending time as a family. Not the misogynistic shit, but like teaching that families are important in our lives. And yeah, I feel like that was a really big thing that I've always kind of enjoyed and have wanted to bring into my own home is like those family home evenings and, you know, the importance of being together as a family unit is something that I really love from the church.
Did you feel the plan of salvation was something that was really enjoyable, made sense, stuck?
Not really.
Fair. Same though.
Like, I don't really know how to explain it. Like, I guess now I'm like, well, I hope my parents don't listen to this, but my mum's a bit of a cunt.
I thought the partner of the Sister May was going to say that.
Yeah, I beat him to it. Yeah, and so it's kind of the whole, oh, you don't get to live with us for eternity, and I'm like,
okay,
gee, that must suck.
What a shame. What a shame.
How unfortunate.
Well, it's funny because if my parents try and use that, it's just like, you guys are going to be very lonely.
Yeah.
Like, we're all outside of the circles ourselves.
And something that never made sense was like if the wife was worthy, but the husband wasn't, like the wife was connected to the husband. And so if he wasn't going to heaven, she couldn't either. And that didn't make sense. And like, if the family is so important, why are they being split up in like the different kingdoms? Like,
that's fair.
Where is the logic?
There's no family unit.
Exactly. So yeah, I just enjoy a lot of the values that are taught. And I guess to an extent, like for the strength of youth, kind of like taught me not to be a bogan. Like, if I hadn't had it, I would have been, well, I still am the biggest fucking bogan, but I would have been even more of a bogan if I hadn't have grown up in the church, I reckon.
Well, I guess like the whole swearing and stuff like that, it sort of pushes away from that. Yeah.
And I see the point in that as well, that, I don't know, when you see like a 12-year-old kid like, F this and F that, and
it's every day outside of work.
Oh, literally. I'm just like, just shut up. You're not cool, mate. Like, so like I get the point in a few of those things, but then like the no dating shit, I never got that, and I never did that. Brother May and I've been dating on and off since we were in grade 2. So
that's cute.
Yeah, we are just a little bit cute.
I was in a bit of a situation for that type of thing. I was always conflicted with my sexuality because I'd always liked one thing, but it's not how I was taught, and so I just was in action. Yeah,
I was such a homophobic bitch.
Happens to the best of us.
Yeah, I was like, I kind of feel like it was like me trying to like push down my bisexuality and being like, I'm not gay. Like, see, I'm homophobic. I can't be gay. That's and now funny. I'm like, Brother May is the last man I will ever date. Like, I'm lesbian after this. Thanks.
It's die or dyke.
Yep. Yeah. Literally. Yeah. So, yeah. What about you? Was there any other like values or things that you really enjoyed or feel like made you a better person?
I think there were some ideals, like public speaking was a good one.
Yes.
I find that helps me in my life today. Mm-hmm. Having confidence to talk to people and to be able to start a conversation. I've not always been great at starting conversations, but having that confidence and the skill to do that, it's something that a lot of people don't have.
Yeah.
In the church, there are no boundaries.
Yeah.
There's no comfort zone. It's you're here. Good luck. See you later. And, I remember getting up for stake conference to give a talk in my youth.
Oh, they were the worst.
And this is, like a big stake. Like the whole of the stake center was full. There were people in the rooms outside watching in.
Is that the stake center that like all the multi-stake activities were held at?
Yeah.
Ugh. No, thanks. No.
Huge. Ugh. Like it's one of the biggest ones it's probably the biggest one in Southeast Queensland.
I would say so. It's fucking huge.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So yeah, I gave a talk there. That was interesting.
Good on you. I would shit myself.
Like I feel like I'm a better person because of that. Like some of the things in the church that the church taught, it taught you to be better. It taught you to improve yourself and to develop skills. And I feel that I've become a better person because of some of those. I would not put who I am today on the church because it's taken a hell of a lot of work to undo the damage that the church has done. And it's still going. It's not there yet. But to get me to a point where I can be, a reasonable functioning adult and without having that trauma lurking over my shoulder all the time.
Yep.
But there are, like I said, good skills that I was able to learn.
That just reminded me of like the talents that we have. Like that's another thing that I really like from the church. Like to develop the talents that you have and to develop different talents and like being able to push yourself out of your comfort zone to be able to do these things. So I play the piano, the violin, guitar, cello, and the clarinet.
What the fuck?
Yeah. I think that's all.
That's all? What do you mean, I think that's all?
I think I might have missed something.
How many languages do you speak?
2, but
days.
I think like I can understand a few different languages as well. So yeah, like I really feel like that's like having that push to develop my talents has really helped me to like stick with those things.
My parents could never.
I know. I hated the piano. I always wanted to play guitar.
Yeah.
But my mum's like, no, you need to learn to play the piano and so that you learn how to read music. To her credit, that was correct. I can read music just as well as I read a book. And I can fumble my way through songs. But yeah, it's helped me pick up so many different instruments. But then, yeah, I always want to play guitar. It's my first paycheck that I got. I bought myself a guitar and hid away at Sister Donna's friend.
Yeah.
I hid away at her house for like a week and played guitar until my fingers bled. And my parents are like, where are you?
Played it to her fingers bled.
Literally. Oh my God. My dad thought I only liked that song because it had 69 in it.
Wow.
Wow. And then I was like actually singing the words and he's like, oh, you actually know the song, not just the 69. I'm like, who do you think I am? But yeah,
dear.
developing talents and stuff.
I did not develop any of those talents. I wish my parents had developed a sense of importance for those type of things.
Yeah.
I can't blame them. I didn't show any initiative for it, but yeah, it would have been nice to be able to play. Like I would love to be able to play the piano.
Yeah.
It's bagpipes or something like that.
Well, I was about to say it's pretty easy, but I mean,
easier said than done.
I mean, I've been playing it since like prep or some shit. It's the first primary school we went to was down in Victoria and they actually had piano lessons like as part of the school.
What?
Yeah. So that's how it all started.
Mosiah and I have said, this year we want to start learning a language. So we've got a lot of goals this year, like
German.
It's a big year. It's a mix up between well, not a mix up. It's a toss up between German or Italian.
Do German, then we can talk German together.
I've like at the moment at work, I've got so many German people come through the door.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
ja.
Das ist sehr gut.
Bitte schön. Maybe it's a good idea. Maybe we should do German instead of Italian, so that way, because you speak it, we can actually have a conversation. Because like it's conversational. If you can have a conversation, you can pick it up faster.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'll put it to Mosiah.
Yeah.
My father and my brother are trying to learn German as well. He's doing it by Duolingo though.
Yeah, same. So my grandfather's German, but when he came to Australia, he was like, we're in Australia, we speak English and we don't talk German. So he never taught us a lick of German. So we've had to teach ourselves.
Shit. Like I see it in like America. I see it in England. I see it here. It's like, you're in Australia, speak English. Yeah. It's like, yes, fair enough. Excuse me, being able to speak English and using it when it's appropriate. Yeah. I think that's an important thing to have if you're going to move to another country. Yep. But there is nothing wrong. Teach your kids
the language. My uncle served his mission in Tahiti, so he speaks Tahitian and French fluently and enough German to get by. His kids can't speak any of it. And I'm like, what a wasted opportunity. Like, he's a fucking French teacher at school.
It was like Mosiah's father is from the Solomon Islands. And he really fell down when it came to teaching his kids about culture and language. And Mosiah could speak Solomon or Balinese if his father had taught him. And it's like I get people coming into work and they apologize because they'll bring the elderly mother or something and they've just lost a father and they'll have to speak to the mother in language because she can't fully understand what I'm saying. And they're like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, never be sorry for speaking your own language.
Yeah, exactly.
This is your culture. Be proud of it.
Exactly. And I feel like that's really how things get whitewashed so often because like even in Germany now it's like most people there speak English and they're actually losing the German language because of that, which is really sad because like someone like me and my family, we would just kill to like be there and speak it and be part of that culture. But that was never really an option that we had because
I think like especially being bilingual, trilingual or more, I think is such a special gift to have. And it's such a good thing to be able to practice. Yeah. Like I had a Russian family come in the other week and, Russia is in the news and they were hesitant to mention anything about it, to speak language until, I just said, cool, okay.
Yeah.
Nothing against you. And then all of a sudden they open up.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is, you should never be ashamed of who you are.
Exactly. My little nephew, he's so fucking adorable. His mum's Fijian, so my sister-in-law is from Fiji. And they just spent a month or so over there in Fiji in one of the little islands that my sister-in-law's family owns or something like that. And yeah, it's just so cool, like having them come back with pieces of her culture and being able to be like, yes, like this is something that we can embrace to help her feel more at home. Like she doesn't have to, I guess, hide her culture here. Like,
white people could never have a culture.
I know. Our culture is like, oh my God. So Brother May's work bestie. So he's Korean. Like he was born in Korea.
That's right. He's the one friend he has.
Yeah, Brother May's one friend was born in Korea but was adopted by Australians. So he's Aussie but born in Korea. Oh my God, he works at a Korean restaurant. And I pronounced it wrong. I called it Siobhan House instead of Soben House. And Brother May told his friend, and his friend's like, that is the most basic white bitch shit I've ever heard. And I was like, oh my God, he's going to hate me. Your one friend hates me. Yeah.
I just love it when you get these straight white Australian men that are just like, these immigrants are ruining our culture. I'm like, you kind of have to have culture to ruin it.
This is like that song. I feel like the only culture we have is like basic white bitch, like white woman's Instagram. That is a white person's culture.
It's like, do better.
Yeah.
Well, like, we had Australia Day not long ago. And I don't really call it Australia Day anymore because I don't celebrate it.
Yeah.
But the question I asked we went out with a group of friends. We're going to go for lunch.
Mm-hmm.
And the question I asked was, what would our situation, our community, our culture be like now if the First Fleet didn't rock up and start shooting?
Mm-hmm.
What if they rocked up and tried to make peace?
Exactly.
Imagine.
It would be, I think about this all the time. Like, imagine if England had just kept to their fucking selves. Yeah. Like, the Native Americans, the Maori people. Like, imagine how diverse and amazing our world could have been if these people had have been allowed the time to, to develop their culture and their part of Earth.
Naturally, people trade and they develop and people emigrate and things like that. But the fact that, Western society has just forced themselves upon all these communities, just imagine how much culture, how rich Australia would be in culture if it embraced Indigenous history.
It would just be amazing. Like, it makes me so angry. I'm like, why do we have to be like such white people?
Like an interesting plug for my new podcast, which I was supposed to launch last week and it has not happened yet. Anyway, moving on. One of my goals with that is to actually start investigating into Australian Aboriginal spirituality.
Yeah.
Because I find that fascinating. Like, just one little thing that I picked up when I was thinking about it was like, we use white sage to smudge, right?
Yeah.
And in funerals that I've seen, the Indigenous elders will have a smoking ceremony or smudging ceremony using eucalypt.
Mm.
If that's the Australian equivalent, why would we be using white sage here when we would have eucalypt?
Exactly.
Use? Like, just little things like that.
Yeah. I was going to say something, but I totally fucking forgot.
It will come to you.
Yeah. Mustn't have been important.
You may enter.
Wow, what was I going to say?
Oh, did you see the photo last night that I sent through of Mosiah?
Yes.
He
Oh
told
my
me,
God.
He told me not to send it, but I did anyway. So we went to Aldi, right? And he's like, I need to get some new underwear. And they have these like almost singlet tops, but they're like pajama-y singlet tops. Anyway, he walks out of the bedroom and I'm like, where the fuck did you get those from? And he's like, they're from Aldi. I'm like, they look like garment tops.
I literally thought you had given him old garments. I'm like, wait, what? And I zoomed up and I was like, I can't see the like symbols. I'm like, what the fuck?
I'll show you one after this, but like it's like similar material as well.
Damn.
And I'm like, are they actually garment tops? Or the unembroidered ones? Aldi selling garments. So anyone at Aldi in Brisbane, you got to get yourself some garment tops.
I love that. That's so funny.
So, but I think it's moving on tonight, isn't it?
Yeah. I think that turned into more of a chit-chat bish session. But yes, thank you everybody for I was about to say for participating.
Thank you for thinking about participating.
Yes, and listening and having a laugh with us and coming with us on this wild ride that this episode has been. Don't forget, if you have any thoughts or you'd like to reach out, don't forget to email us at onceuponamormon@gmail.com, and don't forget to head over to Instagram and Facebook and give us a like or share, follow, and that will be at Once Upon a Mormon on both of those, or just any social media platforms. I think I made a TikTok.
Did you?
I did, but
We've got a Patreon, but we haven't really. We stopped plugging it because we're like, we still have to set that up properly, haven't we?
I went through and made a profile picture and cover photo. So it's all set up, ready to start making posts.
Maybe we should put ads on this and start making money.
Yeah, sorry guys. But yeah. Well,
thanks for stopping by, everyone.
Yeah, we love you.
We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
In the name of Mosiah the prophet.
Yes, the new prophet Mosiah.
The new prophet of the new world.
All
Mosiah.
shall worship the cinnamon bun.